Who knows? I'm hoping for a really close series, but we're going to head on over to our casters now to get this series underway. And boys, what an epic battle we have. Spacestation versus Optic, and it's Onset and Bravo.
I mean, epic is the perfect word for it, Lot, and I think that everyone who's in the building behind us in Salt Lake City cannot wait to get this series underway. It's an absolutely huge one for numerous reasons. We have Optic on one side of the stage and the hometown team. We have SSG on the other.
So much riding on this series, right? And for different reasons for these two teams. Of course, SSG, your hometown crowd, they just need to get to an upper bracket final. They only lost the last upper bracket final by 4 kills. Maybe it's a different tournament for them. For Optic, they're looking to turn around their entire season, and so much of that rides on this series here.
And I think a lot of repercussions and a lot of tremors would have been felt from what we just saw as well, right? The biggest roadblock for both of these teams, FaZe, have been knocked down to that elimination bracket, which means the winners bracket final, if they can get through this series, becomes a much more kind of delicious looking one than it normally does with FaZe out the way.
It really does. The road is so different. Both of these teams know that they can almost have a very good guarantee of getting through that upper bracket final, but first they will need to get through one another. Here's a look at your series layout, starting things off with Strongholds on recharge.
And now let's talk about the series a little bit more, right? We've been talking about the SSG story, saying how they need to win an upper bracket final. Of course, they've got to go through Optic to do that. But here in SLC, in front of the hometown crowd, if they can get through Optic here, you would say this is a huge opportunity for them to go on to a grand final with an advantage.
It really is. We always said about Spacestation, how often can they watch another team lift the trophy in front of them? Another thing we should talk about, you just heard the desk saying 3-0 in favor of Spacestation this season. If we look at Arlington's game type specifically, none of them are repeated here for Optic. So maybe a little bit of a bonus for them, the fact that they won't have to play those same game types that they got 3-0'd by Spacestation on in Arlington.
Yeah, no bad memories in this series for Optic Gaming. And Optic Gaming against Quadrant, I think that just was such an important series for them. It's obvious to say, but you could see from the reaction of Optic and the way they closed out those close games, what it meant to them. It almost gave them kind of a little jog of the memory of what we're about. We're world champions. We're a team who went and three-peated in the HCS, and no one else has gone on to do that. It's us who holds that record at the moment, and they'll be more than aware that FaZe are out of the upper bracket as well. They will know what the opportunity is in front of them to get to that winners bracket. It's a huge, huge series, not just in the context of what's about to happen in the future, but in the context of what could happen when we come to lift the trophy at the end of this tournament.
Absolutely. Another difference, of course, from the game types is that the hometown crowd will now favor SSG. And, of course, SSG stealing that win from Optic on their home turf. Optic will now look for revenge here in Salt Lake City, the home of Spacestation Gaming. Can Optic steal this out from under them? That will be the question. Of course, Optic aware of what's on the line, and also aware, as we said, that their bracket could look very different as long as they win this one. For the first time, these two teams would not have to go through FaZe, which would be a wild opportunity. You could tell on the stage that these teams are getting locked in and ready to go for game number 1.
Oh boy, you can feel the energy in this room. The crowd is just echoing around at the moment every time we get ready to get into one of these big series, and it is the hometown team who stand in front of Optic Gaming and that winners bracket final. It's Optic versus SSG, and we're off to recharge to kick things off.
It's a very different chant to start things off here. You heard the green wall chants in the room earlier, but now it's all about SSG here as they face for the first time on Saturday in front of this hometown crowd. Strongholds recharge. Your game number 1, 250 points to win, 12 minutes on the board. We'll see who gets the early edge here in game number 1.
Well, here we go then, SLC, and everybody who's watching at home. Spacestation versus Optic, it never disappoints. But for Optic Gaming, this is a chance to get the monkey off their back a little bit, because Optic have not had the number of Spacestation much this season.
How about StelluR wins that 1v1 in batteries, and 4 dead for Spacestation off of the break. It's an absolutely perfect opening. Camo in the hands of Pznguin as well, and he's going to slow play this.
Love how Pznguin plays with this camo as well. He's never antsy to make a play. He's always patient, and what that means a lot of the time is he can be sneaky, he can cause problems, and maybe he can get 2 here on APG.
APG doesn't even get the stick as well, and Pznguin picks up the first kill in Whirlpool, and this is a hometown crowd if we've ever heard one. Early trip cap almost gets started. It will still be an A-B hold and continued scoring for Spacestation.
Optic, who are so used to playing in front of the majority of the crowd, you would say, always have that support. Well, now it's a little bit of a different situation. SSG, they are the home team, and they are dominating at the start of this game. The triple cap is choking Optic Gaming.
Great reset there for Pznguin as well. Not easy to turn that corner coming into A and still win that battle while maintaining your life. He's now going to rotate here to Pipes to continue the scoring. It's 62-0.
First death for Pznguin as well. Immediately traded out though, and Optic at the moment are struggling to get 4 players on the map. APG, again the last alive. And Space Station only have 1 standing themselves. APG going to be spotted out by Bound, but complete control of A and B is still very much in the hands of SSG. A little pre-nade comes in, which is going to take Bound out of the game for a few seconds, but Pznguin, he's going to need a little bit of help, and I'll tell you what, the skates are being put on here by Bound.
Lucid there gets his first kill on the board, and they silenced him for quite some time. How about 83 points on the board before Lucid even got his first kill? However, as we say that, Space Station do find themselves 4 dead. Optic finding signs of life. They got a trip cap for just a moment.
They do, and Formal just got a trade onto C as well, so it's not just a case of a momentary triple cap here. It's one that's going to last just a few more seconds than Space Station would have wanted. 83 points is the first run for Space Station here, as you can see at the bottom of your screen, but Optic are starting to chip away as Pznguin turns C back over.
What can TriPPPeY do from the Trippy spot here with Camo? That's the question. All 8 players up. This is a big, big moment in the game.
TriPPPeY's got a flank. That's what he has got. He's just trying to play this one perfectly. Bound will be taken down. But some shots coming in the back means that TriPPPeY's got to try and play his life and survive with his camo. Eco! Ooh. Things got a little bit wobbly there, but they were good enough. Those shots coming in to take down the camo player. Optic still scoring here and getting closer and closer on that lead that Space Station established early on. And at the moment, they're starting to take control of the kills as well.
Got to be disheartening for Space Station here. Just had an 83-0 lead. Now 83-67. Completely cut down here and essentially tied up in the early game.
These teams know at this point, though, how important it is to stay in the game. They know there'll be 100-point swings on strongholds. The teams are that good now in the Halo Championship Series that it's what you have to expect if you lose control. It's about how long it takes you to fight back. Make it a little bit more mixy on the map. Get 2v2 scenarios going and then turn strongholds back into your favor. At the moment, it looks like SSG are doing just that. Bound has turned B back over, and even though Lucid is firing through what seems like impossible angles, SSG will be scoring with A and B back in their hold.
Like we said, keeping an eye on the Lucid versus Bound battle, and Lucid threads an absolute needle there between the legs and between a few batteries to connect and make sure that Optic maintains control of back Hydro, and they'll finally get that BC flip as well. It's still a 25-point lead for Space Station.
Back and forth the last couple of minutes in this game. Camo going to be coming up in 10 seconds, so you'll see the attention of all players on the map turn towards that power-up. Lucid's still got a couple of shots left with his shock rifle as well, which he certainly can change a game with, but one thing that's going to be an equalizer at close range is going to be that sidekick. Bound moves in, picks up that camo. Can he get the burn though? Will he stay alive? The burn comes in, but the kills now fall in favor of Space Station. They're turning over B and C. And even though Optic is spawning over at the elevator and getting A, Space Station will be able to score here.
They find themselves 3 dead. Bound for just a moment was your only player alive.
C gets reset.
It's big here. Points will continue going in for Optic Gaming, and we're essentially tied at the 100-point mark. Let's get into a listen-in now with Space Station Gaming.
They might push my pipes. They might push my pipes.
Listen, if we can hold it, B,
They're in B, guys.
okay. I shoot that.
There's a guy back C. There's a guy back C. Formal.
One shot in B, one shot in B. Bad ledge, and I didn't get read.
Two dead. One shot top red.
Look at it. Nice 2 dead. Last guy's APG, no? Where's he at?
Somewhere. He's A on me.
No help, Zane. Nice, Zane. Gets to Zane.
Look out. We need to look out.
I'm trying.
Watching it. Oh, no, one shot. One shot, half ball, Zane. And top A, one shot as well. Top A, one shot as well.
To the right or what?
Ballage weak, Tommy.
Hell.
Shot
Shot pipes, Kevin.
He's 1 shot. Got him.
Three dead.
APG just spawned.
Get B.
I will. I spawned upstairs. I'm going to sneaky.
He's in
C. Bound, hold. Careful, bound.
I know.
Come on, long haul, one shot.
They could spawn A. They could have spawned A.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at
They did.
I'm looking. Hey, watch out, Lucid.
I'm coming.
Watch out bottom A.
I'm coming.
Watch out.
Major locker.
Top A now, top A weak.
I'll come Mangler.
Anger's still one shot in top A.
Top A weak, APGs. He's literally 2 shots. Nice job.
Top yard.
Nice job.
Top here. 130. Pushing top here.
No, in bottom red stairs.
Dude, top here. On the stairs. Gonna be go top cat. There's on the stairs.
Triple second top yard.
Top here. Coming top A now.
Top A together.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I needed it, Braden.
Nice.
Turbine, Braden, close, Braden, close. On your stairs, coming up to the left.
R1.
Hey, you got me.
Fuck. Yo, two.
Well, Stella hits one hell of a shot, and while all of this is going down, we essentially have a tie game here, with Space Station taking control in the last few minutes. But as we say that, Optic fight back. They have a triple cap now. Camo's coming up. Pznguin down bottom middle. Should have good priority.
So back and forth between these two. As you alluded to earlier, the second you get a little bit of control, these teams are looking to collapse, get the trip cap, force the other team to bleed. And right now, it's a significant lead for Optic Gaming, 164 to 129.
Nice little run here from Optic. Camo is still going to be down bottom middle, but Optic are baiting this. Pznguin's going to try and go in and pick it up. And the question is, can he get out alive? It looked like Optic had good angles to maybe look for a trade in that situation, but Pznguin does get that camo, and now it looks like Spacestation have made the call to push in on A.
2 dead, 3 dead. Last player here is going to be at Elevator as well. It's APG. They should be able to just multi-team this. Yes, indeed. That is still 2 dead. They have the spawn rotation now, and they will be scoring.
They also have camo and shock rifle in the hands of Pznguin, so he has all of the freedom that you could possibly ask for here. And Eco is flying in to contest C as well, and Spacestation now have a triple cap themselves. It's brought the crowd back to life a little bit here at SLC, and the scoring is racking up for them.
Looks like play call is C from Optic. 3 players are flooding through tower into C. They will prioritize that play. And right now, Lucid also going to try to split on A, and it might work out for him. It's a very good split move from Optic Gaming. Lucid silently goes to A. He does not start the cap. They were not aware that he was there. He also spawns APG. Now they have the AC control of a very, very good push.
Eco gets one, though. That's going to open the door here for a push from Spacestation. Pznguin's trying to slide out and stay alive. Lucid doesn't like that idea. Now Lucid has to try and turn his attention to surviving himself. C is going to be flipped. You would imagine it's going to be the priority, but here comes Lucid, trying to fly in and get these kills at back C, and if he can, alongside Formal, they're going to keep this triple cap going.
Back-to-back 2 deads. It's perfect spawn rotations coming in from Lucid, of course, taking the Lucid Express across the map and gets there to help out. It's still a BC hold. They're still scoring. 217 to 159.
Oh, Spacestation are trapped at the moment. They're getting stifled in and around. The elevator spawns. Formal's going to have access to that camo as well. APG is going to move in, and I tell you what, A is going to start turning red in the next few moments as well. 2 dead still for Spacestation Gaming. It's becoming do or die now for SSG.
Danger zone. 2 dead, though. If StelluR wins this battle, it's big. Eventually, they'll trade out 3 dead for Optic APG. Last player alive.
Pznguin gets taken down, and APG might have just given himself an opportunity to start B here. Even though SSG are scoring for now, they do not have any mistakes left. If Optic flip and get some kills, then they will be able to close out this game, number 1.
You know, Optic, you can tell by the way they're playing, they just want to make one last push. They want to win this on one last effort. They do not want to panic here. Only 12 points to go.
Looks like they're going for a triple cap here, Optic. It's a 2v2 on the map. StelluR will survive for now, and so will Eco. And now APG, who looked like he might be guaranteed some kills, is all of a sudden going to be falling. 2 dead here for Optic, and SSG aren't done yet.
The confidence there out of APG. AC flips. Optic scoring yet again.
240 points on the board. What's the play call now from SSG? Pznguin is inside of A, but this is the last chance. This is the last opportunity, and Eco, he has been chased down. He's been hounded by Optic Gaming Meth.
Somehow he gets out. B flipping. No, B. The reset comes in. It's a big reset here. Somehow Eco stays alive as well. 2 dead for Optic.
SSG are looking for a triple cap here. SSG are thinking triple cap here. They're thinking it's time to start a comeback.
As I said, Optic was looking for the perfect push. It hasn't worked out. SSG has stifled them now. It's still a trip cap. 3 dead for Optic. Formal's last player alive. It's 4 dead.
Lucid respawns. They have the info on where the spawns are coming in from Optic as well. It's 212 and rising here. And even though Optic with that spawn are going to get control of A, the kills are going the way of SSG once more.
What's going on at C here? C gets reset as well. Formal's going for B, but they've lost A and C.
SSG are flying. SSG are coming back in this. StelluR gets 2. Wow. The triple cap is still in effect here for SSG. Optic are reeling. Optic are crushed. And SSG, with the comeback of all comebacks, should take this game, but no, C! At the last second, he's being flipped by Optic.
But Eco's flipping A, Eco flipping A. This could be it here now. All eyes on B. Lucid at B.
Lucid's making the play onto B. Pznguin is flying. If they get this kill, it will be the game. But now, can they get there in time? No, Optic! They get a contest on B at the last second. It's a 1v1, and TriPPPeY gets it. TriPPPeY gets the kill, and Optic survive.
Keep an eye here, Optic. 249.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable game number 1. Optic Gaming close it out. SSG make a Herculean effort to turn that game on its head. But there's only one team in this place today who's been winning those close games. They're called Optic Gaming.
Can you believe the heroic efforts there of Lucid flying into B? APG following up and winning the 1v1s to get that read.
It's APG. It's APG. He makes that fight last just long enough for the conversion to come in. He dances around that pillar. And SSG were just a microsecond of getting that trade. A trade is good enough in that situation. It stops the stronghold being converted. But what a comeback it was. They gave everything. And look at the score right now. Formal inside of B. StelluR's flying at him. They get these kills. But somehow, some way, Optic Gaming managed to flip B towards the end of this game.
Look at the score as well. 243 on the board here. Bound is going to get over to A. He will take it taken down. Now, all eyes after this win from Eco. He's going to get both of these with help. Now, watch Lucid. B stairs flies
He has to
up.
go. He has to go.
Huge play has to go, and he gets in right away.
He gets in right away. He stays alive just long enough. He gets the kill onto
1v1 against
Pznguin.
Pznguin.
He gets the kill onto Pznguin. Eco, he flies in as well, but here you are. The contest there from APG is just enough. And I always harp on about, sometimes kills don't matter. Sometimes it's the play. It's the buying the time. APG, frame it, put it in the Louvre. There's the perfect example.
I cannot imagine what that looked like from Lucid's POV. The 1v2 where he wins the isolated 1v1 against Pznguin from batteries. Unbelievable finish there, down to the wire. We wouldn't have it any other way between these two teams. Optic Gaming will end the last few seconds. Despite an 80-point comeback from SSG, Optic will still take game number 1 in the end and take a 1-0 series lead.
And I tell you what, there's a divide in the room right now, but everybody is enjoying the Halo. You can hear the green wall. You can hear the SSG fans as well as we head into game number 2. It's going to be Solitude, it's going to be StelluR. First to 50 will take this game home.
That opening strat there, 3 guns focused on Yard from the side of Optic Gaming as they just go for a raw 3v3 battle
They're
in the
gonna push
end.
this.
First few kills come in
They're
perfectly
gonna flood
timed.
this.
Look at the opening strategy from Optic Gaming. It is calculated, it is perfect. They lead 4-0.
Formal, he's got the sniper as well. It's a perfect start from Optic. 5-0. They have snipe control in the hands of Formal, and Spacestation yet to get on the board, although Eco will find one.
Still so blown away by that opening strat. 3 guns on Yard, just perfectly timed on the team shot. Formal just dropping bodies.
This is what
They lead
Formal,
7-2.
This is what Formal does best, right? When you post him up with a weapon like this and he can work around people in somewhat predictable respawn, right? His reticle placement is so good. He's so effective at least hitting that body shot that you can take advantage of and get that kill. It's 10-3 at the moment. And Lucid doesn't even have a kill, but Formal does.
Bound, last player alive, and he might be coming out of flowers, but it's really just a funeral. He's taken down immediately. Already catching spawners here. Eco's in trouble. Keeps him weak as well.
Formal at the moment saying, I am map control. Eco stays alive for now and manages to somehow get a kill himself, and he might actually take down Formal when this is all said and done, but Formal again hugs the pillar. A little bit of a dance left, a little bit of a dance right. He comes back, says to Eco, I'm ready to tango, but Eco's going to win that dance.
Now at 14-9. Just an absolute blistering start here coming out. The game has now come within 4. It's a good chance to get to an Optic Gaming listening.
Spike glass. One guy. Yeah, they're gonna be behind you, Brad. Yo, top mid.
He's on concrete.
Concrete? Yeah, he's back. Yo, S4.
Two there.
You guys are sniper, missing one.
Should be on me, so...
Might be able to bully this. You might be able to bully this.
Quantum's in 5.
You want to fight sniper?
Hold on.
Alright,
Look at sniper. He's on sniper.
Jumping out.
One guy cafe.
That's the sniper.
That's right.
Follow one shot. One shot.
I'm dead.
Cafe.
Yeah, one guy. Two guys snipe. They're both picked.
User.
They're both picked.
They're coming.
He's on Matt.
That's like
Going
your
Matt.
turn.
One to Matt.
One shot, StelluR.
Nice, guys. No top center.
Yo, top set. He's dropping U-turn. Half shields. One shot.
Nice, Matt. 2 dead.
Posters, guys.
Yeah, posters. Hiding.
Nice 3. Last guy, where?
Yeah, on me. Hotel.
weak.
One shot.
That's hotel.
Listen, they're gonna get cafe spawn to support that. We're not blocking
hotel.
hotel.
Yes.
Listen, force that. Just start forcing that. They're gonna start spawning behind.
Hotel, guys.
These guys are gonna be split. These guys are gonna be split.
Brad's looking. Nice shot.
Hotel again. Cafe ramp. Come to me, cafe ramp.
Sorry, Brad.
Yo, top gold, guys. Top gold.
Quick hotel.
Two guys cafe.
Oh, top yellow. One shot yard. Eco.
Here.
I'm
Yeah,
in
you help Joe, you help.
Could be cafe still. Could be cafe.
Silo.
Nice, guys.
Soda.
Yo, drop on dip. One shot.
U-turn. Absolute.
Dip again. On positive pistol.
Let's
Play first side, guys. 5 seconds.
Tommy.
He's got driveway.
Matt's gonna get snipe here.
Yo, can we go cafe?
Yeah.
Joey's getting in.
I hear you, Matt. Yo, last shot.
Be careful over there, Brad.
We have weapons right now.
Yo, go. I hear that.
Drop it to me. Prius. In LR. Prius in loop.
It might play for you, Matt.
Yo,
One
there's Soda, we
more, one
poster stairs,
more,
Matt,
one
poster
more,
stairs,
one
on you.
Coaster should be. Yo, driveway could be.
Weak. He's going for sniper.
Going down driveway,
Okay,
guys.
sniper.
Eco is
Yeah,
bottom
can we
middle.
Sniper concrete.
Can we go yard
He
quick
jumped
here?
up. He's going.
One's LR,
He's sitting.
Wait, play upper spot.
He fell driveway.
Escort sniping, escort
We might need
sniping.
to play the
Okay,
yard.
play off that, play off
Still
that.
one shot, top concrete.
You can hear the frantic comms coming in from Optic Gaming. Everything is concise though. It's said once, it's not repeated. And in all of that listening, it was formal still. He's 9-4 in this game, but I think just as we came out, he was about 9-2.
Yeah, unbelievable performance there so far. Just maintaining that nice 7-kill cushion. It's quite a bit for a team like Optic Gaming to play with, and you can tell they're really just pushing that advantage and making sure wherever they need to worry about spawners, hotel, all the way into flowers, making sure no one's behind them in yard. They really have full map and game control right now.
QT about to come up top middle. Lucid's lost Bound at the moment, but with that disruptor, he's going to do enough damage to maybe make Bound have to think about challenging another player. Bound does come out of that with the kill though, so a 6-kill game now between the two, and SSG have not let this get out of hand. Even though it's close, even though it's an Optic advantage, SSG are staying in this one, but with 3 dead now, Eco on his own, maybe this is where Formal and Optic Gaming start to pull away.
Certainly could make this even more dangerous. Formal with another QT in hand. You saw how deadly he was with it earlier. Gonna try to hug this angle. He might get taken down. Quick little QT almost buys him a second. In the end, though, that will be taken down before it can be too damaging. And the game is still close. It's even closer now. Just a 5-kill difference, 34-29.
3 dead for Optic Gaming as well. The question is, can SSG make something of this? Can they trap them in a spawn? And can they get that first pick? Because Optic are never afraid to slow this kind of situation down, and it's exactly what they're doing right now. Bound gets no vision, no line of sight onto any Optic player for a good 7, 8, 9 seconds there. All of Optic playing close, knowing they have this lead.
It's a big kill from Bound. There's no more cross angle. He can push in now. He can do the damage. They should be able to pick up a few here. That's 3 dead. Last player is Matt on glass.
Still the 5-kill advantage though. Formal will be taken down as well, and all of a sudden you can see that SSG are starting to not just pick up 1 or 2 kills, it's 3, 4, even 5 without response, and that is making this game get a little bit closer as the kills start to drip away. 39-35, and almost deja vu of the first game here. SSG are making another comeback.
2 big kills come in now to bring the game within 3 for the first time. Spacestation has brought this game now very close.
Oh.
It's a big win from Eco as well.
TriPPPeY managed to get one. Eco's still alive though, he's dancing around that pillar. Bound gets another. It's a 1-kill game here. As we head into the final 10, SSG tied the game up for just a moment, as they do once again.
Unbelievable, you can't even keep up with the scoreline here. And so much H5 experience on the Space Station side. Goes without saying, and has shown in the late game. 41-41, 6 minutes left.
Difference is here, SSG have control of the snipe side. They might be able to get this next sniper that just came up. That could be game changing. That could be game winning. As Eco tries to survive bottom middle and snaps onto Formal.
Every kill will be fought for here. 45-42, it's a
What a
big
push from
swing
Optic.
coming in from Optic.
What a push from Optic. They take 3 from SSG down and turn the sniper back into the hands of Lucid. It's 2 kills the difference, but Lucid, with 1 shot, 1 bullet, could change this game completely.
Game in his hands. He has 6 total shots, and they only need 5 to win the game. We've seen this before. We know how it plays out.
Oh my God, Lucid, you are an animal. He flies into blue. Not a care in the world. He manages to get one. He gets a second as well. And even though it's still close, Lucid puts Optic within 2 kills of closing out game 2.
Nightmare fuel for Space Station. You don't want Lucid with the sniper rifle in the late game, and he's showing you why on screen. Only 2 kills to go for Optic Gaming.
The shots hit harder when they matter. The kills matter most. Formal goes in. He picks up the 49th. It's 1 kill to go, and APG at the end of the game once more stands up for Optic Gaming, gets that 50th kill, and puts the 1 game away from the winners finals.
Once again, that early game lead gave him that 10-kill cushion, and credit to SSG for bringing the game back tied at the 40 mark. It's not easy to do, however, that last push right around the 45 mark really bought all the time they needed, and once you have a 2 to 3 kill lead and Lucid with snipe, you saw what he did with it, right? Even in close quarters, even in the cafe. Normally you don't see a weapon that size in the coffee shop. Lucid brings it in, starts to absolutely plane and brain. Stays alive long enough to even rotate that sniper rifle once again. We'll take a look at some stats from that game. 50-45 is your final score.
Good stuff across the board really from Optic Gaming. You have to say that's what you want to see with how the chemistry of this team is, right? Everybody going positive outside of APG, who gets the most assists on his team. He's contributing to kill after kill and gets the most important one, the 50th one. And it's been APG at the end of the game twice now who's made those game-winning plays that have kept Optic not just in the game, but put them 2-up in the series.
Also great QT control throughout the game. And while it didn't, of course, translate to unbelievable swings, it still made the difference maker. A lot of top-to-bottom work from Formal, a lot of overall control, and denying the QT as well.
Yeah, and I mean, the QT is such a, I think, still misunderstood, I would say, power-up, and I think it's something that's going to get better and better. Because Formal was using it there, and you can see just with the iframes, which means you cannot be killed while you are teleporting, right? That little half a second that he stays alive, even if he's just stepping back half a foot, means that he cannot be taken down. This little bit of ring around the rosy, SSG will just deal with Formal, and those peak shots are what Formal's known for, just shouldering, hitting everything when it matters. And I think that the QT was a big difference maker, especially for Formal on that run, like you say.
What a great late game. As you saw all the way down, like we said, tied at the 40 mark, everything to play for here, but this is where things started to change. You saw Formal die, but at the expense of trading out 3 other kills on your screen. We were tied at the 40 mark. The next few moments really went Optic Gaming's way and really changed the way the last few kills went.
Yeah, I just felt in this end game as well, you see it's a 1 kill difference, but Optic make that big push onto the snipe side, and then, I mean, Lucid just does what he does. He plays like he's never going to lose a game of Halo Infinite in his life. Flies in with a no-scope, gets one, gets a second, gets information, bodies another, and then all of SSG just traps. You can see the QT goes in again, which allows them to do that damage. They can back out if they need to. They didn't need to. Optic 2-up, looking very strong.
And even Formal with 16 kills in that game, even in the late game in Cafe, he gets kind of teammated by Lucid, still gets the kill on the player blue ramp, then turns and still gets a melee to set up the easy trade for Lucid. When you have every player on Optic firing on all cylinders like that, like you just saw in the end of the game, that will translate to game wins on the board. They now lead 2-0 as we head to our game number 3, King of the Hill on Livefire.
Now, Optic will be feeling extremely confident, not just because they're 2-up in the series, but when we were looking at game types coming into it, we were saying the front half of the series, we think maybe SSG are feeling more confident with the game types. The back half of the series, Optic have had success in these game types, especially in tight series. So for Optic now, knowing you've got to win 1 of 3, it's such a nice feeling to have, a relaxed feeling to have. And you know, I think SSG taking a break at this moment is what they need to do, because they're not quite looking up to par at the moment if they want to really get back into this series.
To take a look, KD leaderboard, of course, for the entire tournament here at the Global Invitational in Salt Lake City. One thing you'll notice, though, lots of green, especially coming in the form of Optic Gaming. Lucid up top with a 1.31 so far, Formal with a 1.30. Those 2 players also led our KD leaderboard yesterday, but you're not seeing anything from the SSG side at this stage. But I think so far we've seen that in that series as well.
Yeah, I think Formal and Lucid working so well together, and I think getting their slays in different ways as well. We see Lucid, he likes to look for the multi-kills, right? He likes to play with the power weapons. Formal's been there and just consistently dealing damage as that player that the rest of Optic play around. And I think when these 2 are firing, it's obvious to say, but it's very, very difficult to stop Optic Gaming. And it makes TriPPPeY and APG's job so much easier on this team as well, to know that they are consistently putting that damage in, consistently winning those 1v1s. It opens the map up for them to do what they do best.
Also just terrifying. When you think of Lucid flanked by Formal and APG, right? The amount of screen watching and information that is being shared, of course, and TriPPPeY, of course, to Formal's left. The amount of awareness around what's going on in that game, Coach Lunchbox in the back, I mean, it's translating on screen right now. The amount of teamwork that this team has, knowing exactly what they need to prioritize, and you hear it in the listen-ins as well. This team looks like a completely different team from our last 2 events.
Well, for SSG, the question is, what now, right? How do you get back into this? Are they looking past Optic Gaming? Are they guilty of looking past Optic Gaming coming into this series? Because even though the games have been extremely close and they have had some really good comebacks, it's the start of the games that have been a worry. The intensity maybe not quite there, because you know, we saw the big comeback, right, from SSG in game number 1, but then they just fall at the last second. We see the comeback again in game number 2. They fall at the last second. Maybe King of the Hill, where you're going to have a little bit more setup-orientated gameplay, will actually help SSG just settle down a little bit. But at the same time, like I mentioned, King of the Hill was a very good game type for Optic. They love to control those angles on the map.
Absolutely, and now Spacestation has to realize backs against the wall. And they're going to do anything but ruling them out, right? This series is far from over. They could absolutely rally back here and perform the reverse sweep against Optic Gaming, but it has to start with this game here. King of the Hill on Livefire, 1 hill at a time. And you know that Optic's going to be coming with big momentum coming off of those past 2 games.
And with how close these 2 teams are in skill, in strategy, everything you want to put forward, that makes those pick up the overshield so vital. We always see it, right? The team who gets the overshield controls the next 30 seconds of the game. So keep your eyes on where that OS goes as we head into game number 3. Optic on the brink of a 3-0 sweep here against SSG.
Curious what we see for the opening strat. Let's not forget, the opening strat for Optic Gaming largely won them that game. They were 4-0 and they never looked back in the previous game. We'll see if they can do it again here. Already 2 dead.
StelluR going to be weak at the back of the tower as well. Bound picks up 1 just to slow things down. But oh my, Lucid! That is confidence, and that is what he is playing with right now.
3 dead. It's another great opening strategy. It wasn't necessarily as linear as the last game. No trade, though, and the OV gets tossed in the end to Eco with perfectly timed kills coming in from Spacestation. It will be 2 dead for Optic Gaming, and a late steal of the overshield for Spacestation.
Big win bottom middle. They have everything. Spacestation, they have Heatwave, they have Sniper Rifle, they have overshield, but they need hill time, of course, to get back into this game. Lucid trying to be a nuisance back tower, and Eco is hunting him down.
That was a muddy melt of that overshield. He had so much to play with, and off the respawn, Lucid and company just melt the overshield right off. It has not been a huge factor. And not a lot of points on the board for Spacestation.
And Formal baits in Eco, and somehow, even though they had Snipe, Overshield, and the Heatwave, SSG are 4 dead. That is, it's terrible, to be honest with you, to see. Optic have just baited them in so easily. And off the back of it, like you say, barely any hill time as well.
I don't really understand it. You have Lucid spawning there with his boots deep in the mud, and he just pings the overshield a few times, and it throws SSG off completely. Optic Gaming, despite Sniper, Heatwave, Overshield, and 3 dead, they lose the first hill.
Optic Gaming up by 1 then as we move now towards Formal. And the tower hill, a little bit of team fight starting to come in though from SSG. They managed to take the control out of the hands of Optic for a few seconds by dismissing Formal from the top of that tower. Overshield going to be coming up as well in 7 seconds, and Bound thinks he's got the time in here to go on this flank. All of Optic are trapped. Formal's going to be looking out for him, but he does have the timing. The question is, can he get the kill? He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets 3! The answer is yes!
Formal's your last player alive on the scoreboard. It could have been an overkill, however. No! Formal flies in. Don't tell me he gets
the
this
overshield. Penguin gets him. Penguin gets, calm down, everyone.
Goodness gracious. Penguin gets the deny. APG still alive. What is he doing over there? TriPPPeY helps out on scoreboard.
APG comes out looking dripped up. He's got the gold coat on. He gets that overshield as SSG, even with the triple kill coming in from Bound, lose that OS. TriPPPeY now trying to fight forward. A little bit of ejected time on the board here for SSG on this tower hill, though. They have almost half of it converted. Formal on top of the tower repulse is going to be a nuisance to get rid of.
Oh, almost does it to him. It has to be said, Bound with a triple kill on the overshield platform, and Formal's your last player alive on the scoreboard. There is no way that Optic Gaming should get that overshield. Spacestation lets it happen again. Luckily, it doesn't convert to a point yet. Still very good points on the board for SSG on this hill.
Sniper coming up as well right now. Eco gets the trade onto TriPPPeY. It's 2v2 on the map right now, and Bounty's going to get that Sniper Rifle. He finds 1 APG. He had the Shroud, which is good news. It was almost a fearful Shroud, and APG teaches Bound a little lesson. You don't chase, especially when my name is APG.
Penguin goes back tower. It's a very good move from him. He gets nades as well. Beautiful movement there from Penguin to tee up those kills.
2 dead hit for Optic, though. Eco trying to survive. Not going to be able to do so, as SSG still sit inside of that hill. Penguin going to be challenging Lucid. Going to be looking for 2 here on Bound. It's Formal and Lucid once again working together, and Lucid comes out the benefactor. He gets 2 kills and a Heatwave left for him as well.
Still 2 dead. Now they're going to start to chip away. With 3 minutes left on the clock, we'll see if Optic can tie up progress on this hill, maybe even steal the second hill as well.
Oh, big kill from Penguin, though. You saw the idea from Lucid. He wanted to cut off that key door angle and do damage on all of SSG who are moving towards that OS. However, we saw Bound doing this a few moments ago. The flank onto the A-plat means that Formal is now a problem for SSG. They have locked it down, Optic. This should be an overshield for them again, and it's TriPPPeY who's the benefactor.
This overshield really could decide this hill.
Oh, he's getting melted, though. He's getting absolutely melted. Spacestation managed to take the OS player down. Penguin picks up another as well, but Optic look like they're coming out on top. But the repulsor now, once again, is a problem for SSG. Formal on this tower. He's been here for what feels like the entirety of this hill. Bound going to challenge. Bound going to have to trade.
Really interesting there. That's the second time that Formal's burst didn't come out. You have to wonder, it could be a trigger stop. Sometimes if you have a trigger stop in place, that full burst won't come out as there's 3 dead for Optic Gaming. Gonna hold it here. Can Spacestation hold? That's the question. They have 1-man advantage. Only about 10% left on the hill.
Now this is one of these hills, if SSG do not get it, being so close, that might just break their back. Optic gonna flood through, and SSG do get that hill. Confidence, belief, we back in the comms for sure. As StelluR now makes the play on the flank on the garage door.
Oh, man.
He did not knock.
Kind of looked like the Simpsons meme. Just tried to go right back out the door. However, the shots came in. The team shot way too quick. That will still give Optic Gaming a 2-man advantage. Both players, however, are up, and now it's a very different game. Tied 1-1, 2 minutes left. Spacestation has a little bit of room to breathe.
2 dead for Optic as well. They have control, but Formal is going to make it a little bit more uncomfortable for them. TriPPPeY last alive now for Optic Gaming, trying to see if he can pick up one, if he can get a trade, but no. Pznguin is there to clear out the final player from Optic Gaming. Complete control now for Spacestation.
And kills like that will keep the kills staggered. Ooh, it's a big repulsor coming in for Pznguin.
Nade goes down as well from Pznguin as he sends 2 players back, but those players have managed to get through the rat tunnel. It's 3 dead for SSG. TriPPPeY taken down, APG and StelluR, the last 2 alive, and it's a 1v1. APG says, I'll fight this from the hill, I'll take that time. And StelluR can't deal with him quite yet.
Very good damage there from StelluR. He gets the damage as his shields were recharging. Very nice mechanical play from StelluR. It will also lead to a grab for Eco. This is big. Look at the progress on the hill. Only 154 left, and these teams just about tied here. Small advantage for Optic Gaming. Here comes Eco.
Oh, sniper rifle whizzes past Eco though. He's going to catch one player out bottom middle. That's going to be Formal. That's the heat wave back in their hands as well. Now, Spacestation, you need to make something of this opportunity. You need to use the weapons. You need to use the map control that you fought so hard for. And you need to hit your shots, Eco, as APG will make him pay. It's 2v2, and TriPPPeY's got a sniper rifle.
See what TriPPPeY can do here. It's a 1v2,
Oh
not
my
easy.
Goodness. TriPPPeY manages to get 2, but SSG will flood because of the time that was bought. They'll keep that sniper rifle in their hands. Looks like Pznguin didn't see it on the floor for now, and SSG will get that point on the board. Spacestation Gaming into a lead, 2-1 now, but this is the money hill.
And it all came down to the slaying control. You saw the kills that came in Rat Tunnel. That kept Optic Gaming on the spawn cycle, and Spacestation did so well in the slaying department, and they're continuing 3 dead. Lucid, your last player alive there.
We call this the money hill because it's the easiest one to lock down, to keep complete control of. You're going to respawn Optic Gaming right now if you're SSG. Over at green, back tower, dirt. If you get these kills, you only have 1 or 2 pushes. With time on the clock as well, SSG are primed in position to maybe get an insurmountable lead. Unless Lucid does something pretty crazy, but SSG have fallen apart here. The push from Optic is so good that 3 players have now fallen from SSG.
Eco's your last player alive. He was on concrete. Oh no, that will keep them on spawn as well. It's really poorly timed death that comes in the end. Now they're flying off of sandbags. They're getting desperate here.
Bound's going to challenge. Bound's going to win it as well. 2 dead for Optic. And even though Optic did so well to break initially, now SSG are answering back. Lucid down, APG down, and TriPPPeY down as well. Formal, you're on your own.
What a play from Bound off the respawn. As you said, Eco was the last player alive.
Overshield.
This is enormous.
Overshield. Pop in. SSG looking to get back into this series, back into this game. And now Optic have to deal with Eco with an overshield inside that hill.
This is big. This will be a guaranteed hill. There's no push coming here. There's 2 dead. And guess what? With those points, he's going to bait the clock. Baits the clock for a second, but it got a little bit too risky. It got a little bit too dangerous. And just like that, with 70 points on the clock, 70 seconds, it's a 3-1 lead for SSG.
You could see Eco running the numbers there, and then he was like, wait, I'm not sure about this one. Let me step in and get a 3-1 lead, and that's exactly what they do. 1 minute and 9 seconds left on that game clock, but SSG find themselves 4 dead. Optic have won close games, and look how quickly they are taking control of this top middle hill. They have got plenty of time left in this game, Andy, to turn this game around.
They haven't let any time come off the clock. No time at all. There was 109 left for quite some time, and look at the progress. They got about 60% of the second hill done. They know that they need to maintain the kills here. It stays at a 3v3, and they need to get back in that hill as fast as they can.
SSG step into the hill. Bound's going to get the trade. Every trade is great news for SSG. It means that Optic will be further and further away from converting that hill, and Eco is going to spot out APG as the last player alive as well. Optic are inside of that hill off the respawn though, and Eco needs to hit some shots, but look at the pressure that's coming in from Optic Gaming. They refuse to leave this hill. They want to push this all the way. Formal going to be challenging as well. He has to escape to the cuts as Pznguin arrives for some help.
Oh, that was 2 dead. TriPPPeY stays alive just long enough. Will he pick up another one? He does at the feed. 2v2 here. Bound was your last player alive. Bound is the only one to challenge. This is going to be an Optic kill.
This could well be an Optic kill because Lucid's there to help out as well. And with 54 seconds left on the clock, plenty of time here for Optic Gaming to keep this game going. It's 3-2, just a one hill as Optic come back into this game.
You already know what Optic has on their mind. They want to be the spoilers. They want to be Nightmare Fuel. 3 dead for Spacestation as we get ready for the overshield as well.
Formal's got the Ovi. And Optic
oh boy,
now in a position with 38 seconds left on this clock to maybe tie us up and send us into overtime. He manages to get one, he gets two, he gets a stick somehow. Formal just a walking tank. As now Bound is left on his own. He gets repulsed, he gets eliminated. Optic kill all of Space Station and they have complete control.
Wow, if you wanted oh my God, if you wanted a perfect setup for your late game here with only 23 seconds left and a frozen clock, well, we've got it here. Can Optic be the spoilers? Can they come back from 3-1 to tie this thing up?
SSG are trapped. They cannot get out right now. StelluR, he knows better than to challenge Lucid at this point. It's 23 seconds. That game clock will not move while Optic Gaming sit in that hill. Bound will take the challenge. And now with that sniper rifle empty, no bullets left for Lucid, it becomes a little bit more difficult to hold.
Lucid doing so well there, essentially wins that entire battle against Bound to keep him pinned. However, 2 have fallen. It's a 4v2.
One player still on the hill though. APG is at the back of the hill and 2 players from SSG are going to fly in to try and deal with him. 2 fall for Optic, 3 fall for Optic. Last player is TriPPPeY and SSG might have done enough here with 14 seconds left. Optic are not going to be able to get near this hill.
SSG, of course, they're not going to hold the hill. They're going to just hold this doorway. That's all they need to do. They're not going to jump in. 5 seconds left.
That's the trade. That's the trade for the game. Eco gets 2. SSG keep us rolling. Formal though, maybe he's got something to say about this with 1 second left. No, he can't get it. SSG are not done yet. It's 2-1 in the series. They will take live fire, King of the Hill.
And that man's very happy to see his team winning a game on the main stage there. Tattoo in full force. And Space Station back in full force on our main stage. And we had a feeling this one might go the distance, Mark. It looked like it could have been a 3-0, but everybody get comfy, stay comfy. We are back in, we are locked in. Space Station on the board. They trail 2-1.
We've got a bit lucky today with these series, right?
Certainly have.
This is some entertaining Halo, everybody. I tell you that. And for everybody who's sat inside of the depot right now watching these 2 teams go at it, this is some high quality Halo that you're watching right now for SSG. How important was that game? Especially how important were those final kills and that final kill onto Formal.
Final moments are really big. A few things to point out. Lucid is sniping Nest. He does not hit any of the snipe shots after the sandbag shot. As we take a look at some highlights from that game, he does not hit any of the shots on Bound, who is peeking him, and Bound with incredible patience there in the late game. He just knows if I keep digging a little bit of damage to Nest and Nest Bridge, my team will come. Guess what? In the end, they did. TriPPPeY was your last player alive on Pillars, and they perfectly milked the final time. Here's a look at the highlights from the full game, though.
I mean, if you can even elaborate on that further, right? Lucid sat on there with the sniper rifle. He runs out of ammo. He doesn't have any more bullets to fire, and I don't think Bound peeks that as confidently. If he's like, wait, I'm not hearing any more sniper shots, I'm pretty sure that we can go off the back of that.
Right.
If Bound peeks and the rest of the team from SSG peek and Lucid still has sniper bullets, he's going to body someone. You would imagine that push them falls apart. So timing is everything. Sometimes not having the ammo is everything. I mean, Formal did everything he could in this situation. I don't know what he did. He was just throwing nades at everyone and killing everything. But it was this moment here, Andy, that we just saw there after that shot that really did change the game. SSG showing the patience as we now move in to game number 4.
Not easy to do. A lot of teams of strong caliber would fall apart in that late game. However, like we said, even though Bound was not winning those peak battles, Lucid undoubtedly forced Bound back there and won the overall damage battle, but he stayed alive through its entirety, so that when the Pillars and Sandbag pushes came through, we saw something really different on screen. As we take a look at some stats here, I believe it will be SSG stats on your right, not Sentinel stats on your right, but we'll find out if the graphic is wrong or the numbers are wrong.
Gonna leave that one because I'm not sure. There we go. We'll get that one sorted for you, everybody. Don't worry. But back to the series, Optic Gaming versus Space Station, and now the pace does change, Andy. We've seen some really high-octane, fast-paced Halo up until this point, but the fact that we now move over to capture the flag on Argyle, we know how this game type plays. It wouldn't be surprising to see this game one flag to 0, right? And that's the difference now. We have to see how these teams adapt their playstyle. And Optic, we know, are very, very good at Argyle. Like to play that 50-yard line, but it's going to be a battle of those snipers. We're going to have to see StelluR really pop off here, I feel, for Space Station, picking that thing up and putting Lucid to sleep a little.
You got to think it's a very good game number 4 in the series. With how the series has gone, This one feels perfectly situated here, as this will be an absolute battle for top mid. As you said, the 2 sniper battle, it could come down to just 1 flag, and also the addition of the QT, and we'll see which team is really able to put that to use, because we know if used correctly, both offensively and defensively, and sometimes both within the same run, the QT can be an absolute menace. You put that in the hands of someone like Bound, you put it in the hands of someone like Lucid, and they will be forcing themselves into the back of your base, into the back of your elbow, and you will not be able to track it. The question is, which team will get the better of it? CTF Argyle's up next.
You're going to have to rely on one player on your team to make a play in this game as well, and I feel like it's going to be that sniper, right? You're going to have to look to someone. It's not just one headshot. It's not good enough against one of the best teams in the world to force an opening. It has to be followed up on 1 headshot, 2, find a second, and then hold a few people into that spawn as your team moves up to get that flag moving. You're going to have to see a special play from someone. With how tight these 2 teams have been throughout this series, to see a flag scored, it's going to have to be some very, very special Halo. And at the moment, it feels like both teams are pretty much ready for some special Halo. They've been giving it to us all series long. The question is now, can Optic close it out? Will they send SSG down to the elimination bracket, or do we have another Game 5 on the horizon? SSG versus Optic has not disappointed so far. Neither of these 2 players on your screen.
Tell you what, I don't hate the idea. I think we like this series going long, and we're very happy to be treated to a Game 4 at the very least. As you said, Lucid versus Bound, this was always the matchup that we were watching on the main stage. Question is, who will be the leader at the end? 1.32 for Lucid, it's a 1.08 for Bound. We're underway here in game number 4.
Bound going to be flying in as well with that grapple, trying to get a little bit of an angle on the QT, but the QT has gone, I'm pretty sure. Yep. So Bound is thinking, I have to try and get out here. He's not going to be able to, as he will be cut down. Now, where are the sniper rifles on the map? That's the question for me. Pznguin versus Lucid, and Pznguin will win that fight. Looks like Formal might have actually picked that one up off spawn, if I'm not mistaken, for Optic Gaming, the sniper rifle. As TriPPPeY has the QT and is looking to make an aggressive play off the back of it.
You see where that QT is placed as well. We'll see what he might be able to do, and he goes straight in already.
It's going to be placed on the sniper elbow. As you can see in the picture-in-picture, great job from production there to show us where the first port was put down, to show you where the expected return area is going to be for TriPPPeY in that situation. Formal does have that sniper rifle, and Optic find themselves 2 dead. So Formal thinking defensive here, thinking hit bodies, slow down the push from SSG.
Formal slow play on this. What does it do here? Bound had a feeling he might be there. Pznguin, excuse me, had a feeling he might be there. Formal just trying to tee it up, but StelluR actually has his back as well.
I said that StelluR might have to do something a little bit special in this game to create openings. Well, he's found a double kill. He's found more damage onto Moore as well, and now look at this flank he's got onto APG. 1 nade goes down, he doesn't have a second to clear this kill up comfortably. APG is going to survive long enough, but in the meantime, Spacestation are moving this flag.
That's a big kill for TriPPPeY to help out there. 2 dead for Spacestation, so this is going to be a tricky run. It must Bound pull something out of the hat. It's a very nice 2v1 from Formal and Lucid. Lucid, though, somehow stays alive. Still 3 dead. TriPPPeY's your last player alive, and he's on the re.
Pznguin's still alive, though. And I tell you what, even though this flag might go home, Pznguin is in an annoying position under the base. He comes back out, deals with TriPPPeY after a little bit of help, and this is still pressure for Optic Gaming to have to deal with. SSG are all over their base. They're like ants.
Still alive in the back of the base, as you said. It's rare we see a player staying alive this long in the back of the base. Ooh, capitalizes off the damage. Thought he might be able to get all 3 shots into TriPPPeY before he gets taken down. And look at how much damage he's doing from the back of the base.
Can't get a kill, though. It's the only problem, right? He's doing so much damage, but no one from Optic is falling. And because of that, now Pznguin falls, and map control would turn over to Optic. SSG were doing such a good job of pinning them back, but they just couldn't connect with those headshots.
Buys him a lot of time, but as you said, not the kill that he needed on the... Oh my god, StelluR almost makes it happen. 3 dead, though. Pznguin is your last player alive yet again.
Formal's in the base! Formal's getting triples! And Formal's going to have to wait for his shields, though. Looks for that respawn, as they are going to come in on the engine side. So, a little bit of stutter step. Going to have to come in here for Optic. They need a few more kills before they can continue moving that flag.
You can hear above the re coming in. Formal might have to reset with the squad. He knows there's a lot of pressure still around the base. Here they come.
Double flank coming in. Sniper rifle still in his hands. It's a killing spree for Formal. The no-scope was good. The second one was close, but not perfect, but those shots are pretty good.
Unbelievable angles here. And how about back and forth on both sides? Back of the base control like this. To be honest, you don't always see this much back of the base play in Argyle, but you can see why they want to be able to play this way. Formal just desperately waiting for the help, trying to stay alive as long as he can.
Formal's literally saying, hey guys, please help. Pznguin finally stops the incredible run that did come in from Formal, but it has given the opportunity now As Bound is taken down for Optic to get that flag moving. It was a momentary 4 dead. APG sliding across, taking it the long haul route. He needs a little bit of help here. He doubles back onto Eco, gets the kill as TriPPPeY now starts that relay back.
TriPPPeY says, hey, you guys do whatever you want over there. I'm going to keep flying this flag home. He pauses and delays.
He needs to hit this.
A second, my God.
Now he's going to try and turn that flag back home. TriPPPeY needed to hit those shots. He needed to hit magic shots if it wanted to be a clean run for Optic, but with the damage being done elsewhere. Now APG comes in and says, I will run this one home. Penguin gets one though, and this job is not done yet for Optic Gaming.
He knows he has to delay. That was 2 dead. Now TriPPPeY was the 3rd alive. He was dead now. That Lucid and Formal are your spawners. They probably cannot get there in time.
Formal's got that sniper rifle still though. Bound gets another. And Formal, he finds 2. Bound, gonna peek. Stays alive somehow. Have they got that return? It looks like they have. So SSG flood in. And even with Formal killing everything in his path, he couldn't get to that flag in time.
What an absolute back and forth match of Argyle CTF. And Formal doing what Penguin had just done to him, and then Penguin ends that one. It's almost poetic the way it's happening. Both teams desperately vying for back base control in a way that we don't always see. However, during their sprees, Formal picks up another one. They have not been able to connect the dots on the flag run just yet. QT is up top middle.
QT up, kills falling to Optic. Penguin with that snipe is hitting some shots though, and Formal's looking for him. Formal wants to add another head to his collection in this little run he's on right now. 12 and 5 is Formal. QT to play with as well. He's going to grab that one. Is he going to drop it here in the vent and play around it? It looks like that is the answer.
QT down. Now what you want to do, of course, now that you've placed it, you really want to rotate away from this. You want to take advantage of the distance created between your port and your current location. He hasn't done that just yet. We'll have to see if he takes advantage.
Still got the sniper rifle to play with though. 2 bullets left for Formal. StelluR is going to trade out a couple of kills. It's just mid-map battle at the moment, but Eco, as you say, he's a little bit of a flank coming in. StelluR, he's going to be spotted out here by Formal as well, but look at Eco. Formal can't hit the shots. Now Eco has a chance to run this one towards his 2 teammates.
Big kill. That keeps things at 3v3 on the map now. Flag is going to be continued running. Bound can't get it. StelluR knows he has to get this kill on Lucid. They do trade out.
Last 2 players alive from Optic are on the screens. APG hits a no-scope, and that's going to make this a little bit more difficult for SSG. They do have the flag still moving, but TriPPPeY has slowed things down. Bound is going to take him down. Eco's still alive, by the way. Penguin gets another 2 dead here for Optic. This is a huge opportunity for SSG to cap.
APG was running that flag. Where is that flag? There
Flag's
it is.
going to be returned. Bound on the hunt. Eco saying, I'll run this flag in. 1-0 to SSG.
And how about it? They had to fight hard for it. Almost 7 minutes of total gameplay there. Absolutely back and forth. A blistering pace in this game. But they do what they needed to do. 1-0 on the board in favor of Spacestation Gaming. 5:30 on the clock, which, if we're honest, might feel like an eternity, depending on the pressure coming in from Optic Gaming.
Ooh, Formal nearly walked into that sticky grenade. But Formal still keeping the pressure on. StelluR now trying to hit some shots. Formal trying to pressurize him, and now StelluR turned. Oh my, what? nearly swore. StelluR with the most ridiculous shot on no shields whatsoever, and B is on fire.
And man, this becomes the scariest version of StelluR. There's a certain level that he hits where he ascends. And he's on a different landscape, a different paradigm, and that's what he's doing right now in this game. He's 10 and 8.
StelluR's playing in a simulation right now, and everybody he looks at falls to the floor in the next few seconds. 4 shots left. That's enough to kill all of Optic here for StelluR.
Penguin, by the way, 16 and 10 in this game, leads the entire lobby. Enormous numbers from him. Now with another minute elapsed.
Oh my God,
I don't know.
I don't have words anymore.
I don't know what we're watching. An unreal killing spree.
Otherworldly. I mean, a lot of talk about aliens falling recently, if maybe StelluR was on that spaceship with the way that he's playing at the moment. There is no way on earth. There is no way on earth he just did that.
Half the people in this room just stood up. Unbelievable streak. It didn't look real. It did not look real. We're going to have to check the tape, folks. 3:54 left on the clock. Still 1-0 in favor of Spacestation. What? Lucid says, my turn. QT in hand.
QT going to be popped. Optic now have to push forward. We talk about how a one flag advantage is bigger than it is on any other map because of the way that Argyle plays, and Lucid now knows he has to take over.
Whoa.
He has to slow down StelluR. He re-challenges, he gets that kill, and he keeps the snipe in his hands.
Lucid saw everybody in the room stand up when StelluR got those kills. He says, I don't know how I feel about that. 2 dead here for Optic. It's still a 2-man advantage for Spacestation. The time continues to tick down. It's been 2 minutes since we checked in on that clock. About to be under 3 minutes. Oh, God, now TriPPPeY has a turn with the brain stick.
Yeah,
Do not stand still.
Let's not stand still. We've seen players getting hit, flying all around the place. Those ones are easy pickings. And there's another one for TriPPPeY. It's 3 dead for Spacestation, 4 dead as Pznguin just comes off of that spawn, and TriPPPeY, well, he might be able to lock him down on the elbow here. Oh, that would have been a horrible spawn for StelluR.
I think Formal's got a sniper as well. They got dual snipers here focused on the elbow. Everything to play for. All 4 players trapped.
SSG have stalled this well enough for Bound and StelluR to at least get out. They both get dealt with now, and now you are seeing them trapped on the elbow.
Oh boy.
Double kill here. TriPPPeY wants to find another, but APG will get it. 4 dead for SSG. And with 2 minutes 30 left of this game, it's a clear run for Optic.
StelluR was your first spawner. They did not spot him right away, which is very important because now he can push with Bound. But Bound dies right away.
Lucid picks up the kill onto Bound, and now Formal has the cut off. It's a clear run home here for Optic Gaming. No one is in position to stop this. It's 1-1 as Optic answer back once more.
And now it's danger zone for Spacestation. There's still 2 dead here, and they're still getting trapped in the back of their base. Optic, they want to end it here. They want to end it now.
This aggression coming in from Optic. They are just holding forward right now, and what a difference this is from the Optic of old, right? Straight inside of the base, everybody flooding in. SSG 2 dead, and APG on the flank once more.
Pznguin with a very big kill there. It looked like he was going to get isolated in a 2v1. Instead, he does get a kill, so it's 2 dead for Optic. Not a guaranteed run.
Lucid's still here alongside APG, though. Lucid will fall. StelluR now trying to challenge APG. The shots have to be perfect to take him down. And StelluR finally quells the pressure from Optic. I don't know what to say anymore.
I don't think it's legal for him to have that weapon in this state. 90 seconds left on the clock. It's unbelievable, the entire game from StelluR. He's 16-13, but the sniper bullets have hit hard. Now, they have found a moment to breathe. QT is up top mid. Can they turn this around and get a flag on the board here? 60 seconds to play with.
2 dead here for Optic. StelluR's getting aggressive. And StelluR's looking to take control of that elbow. TriPPPeY jumps into the vents. Lucid spawns back base. How do they play this? APG's going to slow things down, and StelluR knows that now he has to hit more shots. And I tell you what, after watching StelluR play with his sniper rifle, I'm going to have to take a shower after this match is done.
Yeah, this has been filthy. 47 seconds left on the clock. StelluR knows part of this is just staying alive and maintaining a threat. Formal, though, with a sniper rifle of his own. Eco needs a few kills here.
APG does huge damage, gets 1 trade though, but Optic are 3 dead. Pznguin trying to keep the pressure on. Spotted out though by TriPPPeY. Now he's lost him. He has no idea where TriPPPeY is. He finally finds him, but TriPPPeY already managed to get that nade down to give him the advantage in that fight. StelluR flies forwards once more. 20 seconds left. A flagpole here would win the game for either side.
Look at this flank from StelluR. He hears the sniper rifle. It's Formal. Formal's first shot does not hit. And that means StelluR is right back in the action.
Lucid's going to collect it though. 7 seconds left on the game clock before we go into overtime. And with the time elapsing, it is going to be next flag wins between Optic Gaming and Spacestation. Man, just let them play forever.
It sounds like, base, we're getting a word here from production. Even though we will be going into overtime, looks like they'll be manually resetting that overtime. While an SSG chant erupts in the building, as you can tell by the players' reactions on stage, they were expecting that manual reset for this OT. So they will have maybe just a moment to collect themselves, a moment to have a sip of water and focus up. Optic here looking to close it out with a single flag to close the series. SSG, of course, looking to get that flag on the board to force us to a game number 5.
Now, of course, we don't have the power to do this, but you want to have a conversation about making this a best of 11 or something?
I would love to.
This is ridiculous.
This is
some of the best Halo I've watched all year long.
Unbelievable, and I still don't understand exactly. I feel like I had a fever dream where StelluR went on like a spree there with a few 180 no-scopes, one after another. And I think it really happened.
It was real.
It was real.
It was real.
I was questioning my reality for a moment.
It was absolutely, I mean, it's just one of those, it's one of those games you watch and one of those performances, those runs you go on, and StelluR will, I mean, I would say StelluR will be talking about that for a while, but we know that StelluR's probably thinking about what's happening in the next few minutes and winning this game. But it's one of those sniper sprees that people will remember for not just this series, but event after event. People will be talking about, do you remember when StelluR went on that sniper spree? But it will be talked about even more if Spacestation get the win in this game. Otherwise, it becomes a distant memory and almost a kind of jaded memory for whoever it is who's talking about it, especially if you're an SSG fan. But for Optic, again, showing that cold, icy performance to get that flag when it looked like SSG were just taking over the game and StelluR looked like he was unkillable at certain times. Find a way, and that's what Optic have been doing all tournament long, right? Finding a way to win these insanely close games.
And as you say, just unbelievable composure to be on the receiving end of that spree from StelluR and all of SSG, to then be able to just grab the sniper rifle themselves and turn the game around immediately. Big kind of responsive kills that come in from Lucid. And we don't always talk about this, but those were big enforcer kills, right? StelluR's on a wild spree, probably almost on a frenzy, and Lucid to pop out and out-snipe him, pretty big deal, right? He does it twice, and you get maybe just a little bit in your opponent's head with big kills like that. And you don't always have game types that allow that. A lot of Halo game types are so fast-paced that you don't really have those enforcer moments. But for Lucid to be able to fly out-snipe StelluR and say, this is also my map, slow it down here, we want to hear the green wall chants back in the building, to then get a flag on the board after that was a big statement, and now it will just be one flag that determines the victory between these two.
I mean, one thing that was impressive for me in those final moments of the game as well is Optic get that flag on the board, right? They tie the game up, but then they start to play what I would describe as un-Optic. They start to be hyper-aggressive. They look to win that game. They look to keep the momentum on their side. They fly inside of the SSG base, and that's what SSG are known for, right? They gave them a taste of their own medicine, and they were always just 1-2 kills away. Maybe the timing was a few seconds off of those kills falling back to back to back to get that flag moving, but I love what I'm seeing from Optic in those situations. They are not second-guessing themselves. They're not just playing for angles. They're playing to get in the face of their opponents.
One thing that was also really interesting there, we looked at the opening of the game, and you saw it on both sides. You saw Pznguin doing it for quite some time, then you saw Formal doing it for quite some time. They were desperately going for these back base holds, which I think there's a lot to be said about them, and a lot of two-base, two-tower maps that works in CTF, but they both abandoned that strategy. If you kind of noticed, they no longer were playing back base and back stairs. Instead, they went back to the traditional hold one side, force an elbow spawn, force an engine spawn. So it's interesting to see them both relying on that strategy and trying to make that happen. In the end, they abandon it to get flags on the board.
Well, this is the elimination bracket. This is what the loser of this game is going to find themselves in. And if you're looking at the bottom of the screen right now, you can see Quadrant. They beat Shopify Rebellion 3-0, and they keep their run going. Problem for them now is they've got what can only be described, and I would imagine, as a very pissed off FaZe clan to play against in their next game. Native Red, you can see they're 2 up on complexity as well, and I'm hearing in my ears as well that Quadrant versus FaZe will be on main stage next. So that one, oh, that's going to be fun.
That is going to be fun. And also on the same side, keep in mind, FaZe coming off of a 0-3 whooping. They're going to know that Quadrant's going to be ready to play as well. Hey, I have to say whooping. Whooping. They told me I can't say the other word anymore.
Okay, fair.
Has to be a whooping. Well, that's going to be a fantastic series, though. Quadrant versus FaZe, as we said, so much to play for there. For those teams to both be in the elimination bracket with their tournament lives on the line at this stage in a Saturday is pretty surprising, to say the least, and that's going to be dangerous. But before we get there, of course, we need the victor of Optic versus Spacestation. As we said, one flag going to decide this game, potentially the series. However, SSG going to be looking to force a game.
Hey, I'll just build in the anticipation a little bit more, right, with the little reset before we get into this game. And like we say, when we do rejoin, it's next flag wins. There's no mistakes to be made. And to be fair, Argyle was usually next flag wins a lot of the time with just the low-scoring nature of the game. But if there is a Game 5 on the horizon here and SSG managed to take this game home, what does that do to Optic? If we send it to a Game 5 and they can't get it done, being 2 up on SSG. A lot of ifs, of course. A lot of ifs, a lot of Halo to be played until we get to that situation.
Starts to ask a lot of questions, right? Questions start to be raised in an even more serious tone than they might have already been raised this season. Optic, however, looking very strong, not just in this series, in their prior series as well. You could make the argument very comfortably that they look like a different Optic Gaming. They look different than they did at DreamHack Dallas. They look different than they did in Arlington. Something about the air here in Salt Lake City has helped this Optic Gaming roster look like a new team. But they need to continue on here with a win in this series if they want to stay alive in the upper bracket.
Just looking ahead to what that Game 5 is going to be as well. Give me 2 seconds. It is going to be Recharge Slayer. So we've already seen Recharge in this series with a little bit of Strongholds action, and that's going to be very interesting, that game type, because we know that Optic like to play it. I would argue it's probably the slowest of the Slayers that we have, right? Because you have the ability to hold down, respective sides of the map and play for the kills off the back of it. But SSG do like to play it a little bit quicker if they can, but it kind of then falls into the Optic playstyle, right? Where they like to pick you off, they like to control that shock and then make you have to make plays against them and back themselves to hit those shots. So Optic, I think, will be pretty confident, even if this game doesn't go their way, that Game 5 might be one that they can close out. But I mean, when it gets to Game 5, Addy, we know better than anyone. You can kind of throw the form out the window, right? It doesn't matter what the map and game type, well, the game type's going to be Slayer, but the map is, because it comes down to just like who has the nerve, who can hit the shots when the pressure is on most, knowing that the series is on the line.
Absolutely, it comes down to the micro. It comes down to the perfect decision-making, the perfect peeking, the perfect team shots, and just connecting all the dots there. And too often, a few of those will, of course, lead to a sizable lead that will truly determine the result of the game. But in order to get there, there's still a battle to be fought, of course, on Argyle CTF, and you have to wonder just how fast do you fly your opponents here? Do you fly for a grapple QT grab? Do you really all in off your opening? Because there's a lot of risk in doing so. You could imagine that both these teams might just show one another a lot of respect off the opening and not let the other get a free flag grab immediately in overtime.
That's going to certainly hurt if they do. We're looking like we're going to get into the game pretty soon, and as soon as we can, of course, we'll bring that to you. But I've got to give a shout out to the crowd as well. They've really added something special to this series. The SSG fans have been loud. The Optic fans have been matching them as well. And as you can see, the fist bumps on the stage. It looks like we're ready to get into sudden death. Argyle capture the flag. Next flag will win. And for Optic Gaming, this is the flag that can send them through to the winners bracket final.
And as you said, a fantastic crowd here in SLC. It does feel like the room is split between Spacestation and Optic Gaming, and we have heard chants for both sides. And now it's only going to be one flag to decide this game. And like we said, both teams going to be looking to play this very...
Got all dramatic in headies. I turned the lights down, and now we wait. The players' faces illuminated by those screens. They're ready to get into the action, completely locked in, knowing what's on the line here, Andy. Any predictions?
No shot. No shot will I get into that territory here. I guarantee, though, it will be absolutely wild what we've seen in this game so far. Also, some of the wildest highlights that we've seen, and we are now underway here in overtime. Optic Gaming versus Spacestation. Next flag will win the game. If it's Optic Gaming, they will win the series. If it's Spacestation, they will force a game number 5.
Oh, 2 players challenge. Formal as well. He almost managed to get the Quigley going down there. A little 2-for-1 action. But it's going to be trades. And no surprise to see that with how the previous X amount of minutes on this game type did go. Formal having to play this one slowly. And I think you're going to see that from the snipers, right? They're going to have to play slowly here. They're going to have to wait for picks. Just knowing there's only one flag to play with.
2 dead here for Optic now on board with Pznguin. 6 shots left in the sniper rifle. Nice body immediately taps Lucid for the kill as well.
TriPPPeY running that flag, and Pznguin hits the body, which means that they can comfortably reset at their own base now, Spacestation. They have control, I think, not only of their own sniper, but this is the Optic Gaming sniper rifle, and you can tell that by the skin that's on it. Taken out of the hands of Formal. So Pznguin, gonna wait for those picks. SSG have map control, they have weapon control, but APG, he just gave the number control to Optic Gaming.
And this is what we expected to see, right? It's much slower than our first iteration where we saw teams flying at each other. They're playing with chances, they're playing with fire. In the end, instead, it's just gonna be a slowed down game. Neither team wanting to make the mistake. They're giving each other the respect here.
Formal's gonna get aggressive though. Bound gets that all-important trade though. It's 2 for 2 at the moment. Lucid versus Eco. TriPPPeY gonna help him out. StelluR was momentarily last alive, but Bound is now off of respawn, trying to fight out, but look at the pressure from Optic Gaming. They're trying to stifle them at the moment, SSG in their own base. And Lucid is a problem, especially with his sidekick at close range.
He's got that noisy cricket again. Here he comes. 2 teammates down though, so needs to slow play this once again.
Pznguin gonna get the info though. Info's one thing, dealing with Lucid's another. There's the help. As the snipers are about to come back up on the map, it looks like Bound is gonna grab it, but nobody's still able to deal with Lucid. StelluR's got the snipe though, and even though Lucid is alive and being a nuisance, he's trying to be hunted down.
Stays alive as long as he can and somehow gets away, just dodges his name perfectly. Eventually, he's taken down. StelluR will wrap the corner and pick up the kill. Oh God, we've seen this story before.
APG gets the sniper rifle here for Optic Gaming. But we're back to that game of respect here, Andy. Where nobody wants to give an easy kill away. It's about making your opposition work so hard. APG, you thought he was gonna poke? You don't need to do that against StelluR.
Another thing to mention, of course, because this is a manual overtime restart, Let's watch this battle first before we get into the technicalities. Doesn't matter who you throw at him.
Oh my
He's
god.
gonna do
Oh
it
my
again.
god. StelluR is unbelievable. That's the opening that they needed. APG's gonna slow it down, but 3 dead momentarily for Optic Gaming. SSG inside of the base. StelluR looking to continue slaying, continue this pressure on.
He keeps Formal no shields. He's looking for those spawners. He doesn't find them right away. A win here would be big.
Oh my
Lucid
god,
answers
Jiggle
back
strafe?
though. And wins the battle in the back of the base. Now I can get to the point. Because this is a manual restart here, keep an eye on the game clock. It would have started with 12 minutes instead of 5. The game will be played until 7 minutes on that game clock. That will be your overtime period. If we are still tied with no flags out, that will mean that we'll head to a full sudden death match.
I'm kind of alright with it, to be honest with you.
And you got to think both teams are aware of that. So they're going to play this even more conservative because conceding a flag here would almost be a certain defeat.
Spacestation get one, but Optic managed to get one of their own. Lucid just being elusive at the moment up in the vents. Oof. Eco gets taken down, but StelluR flies in himself. StelluR's going to find 2 as well, and StelluR is once again the game changer. Here for Spacestation, Pznguin gets another. APG's last alive. Everybody spawning out here for Optic Gaming, and SSG are running this flag.
Here comes the Optic push. All 4 players are up. Let's keep an eye on the kill feed here. SSG still running flag.
StelluR gets one. Pznguin, he's managed to get away. StelluR looking to find the respawners, but nobody there. But here's Lucid. Pznguin has no idea, but the sticky grenade is going to stick to that floor, which might give his position away. Formal gets one as well. Eco, he can't get the kill. He does get the trade. And now, all of a sudden, it's 2v2. Pznguin has to turn his attention to the chasing Formal. He'll do it perfectly. Bound is here as well with kills. It's Space Station. It's a clear run home. And Space Station send us to a game 5.
With 15 seconds left on the clock, Space Station strikes with a perfect delayed stutter step flag run. You'll notice that Lucid was at the mid-map wondering where that flag was. It's a perfect delayed run. They get the extra slays during the middle of the flag run, and they bring that flag home.
With 15 seconds to spare. And they send us to where else but a game 5.
The most perfect objective decision-making you will ever see in a flag run coming in from Pznguin there. He gets that flag moving, but he's like, wait, we haven't got the kills. The player who's inside of the base behind me trying to support me, he hasn't got the information. That means Optic are overextending. We have to hold the map. We have to wait for Optic to show, to pick up those kills. They get one. Pznguin does damage onto another. He stays alive. He gets the flag moving. He then contributes to another kill, but then doesn't force it because he knows that Optic Gaming players are still alive. He waits for the support to come in, and then from the back of it, runs that flag home. And this is the StelluR show, everybody. Drink it up, enjoy it, because this was one of the most special snipe runs I've seen in some time.
This was unbelievable. What a run here. Of course, this is from regulation, but with the 180. No, if he hit that other one, I don't even know. An unbelievable set of plays coming in there. And this is what led to that Optic run. Of course, a very, very clean run for them as well to get that flag on the board.
I mean, StelluR was hitting everything at this point in the game. It was almost more of a surprise that he missed, to be honest. And even in that overtime, I mean, this is what opened the map up, right? This is what created the opening for Pznguin to start running that flag. And off the back of it, SSG now on the brink of a reverse sweep against Optic Gaming. If you are just joining us now at home, you've picked the perfect time. Optic Gaming, they eke out the win in that game number 1 in the last second. Game number 2, SSG make a great comeback, but a final push from Optic puts them 2 up on the brink of a series victory. But SSG had something to say about it. They win the next 2, the 4th game in overtime that puts us back into recharge for a game of Slayer to decide who goes through to the winner's bracket final.
I mean, that series layout told it all. This has been an unbelievable series between these two, and one worthy of a matchup between Optic Gaming and Space Station. It will be one single game. 12 minutes on the clock, 50 kills to win. Here is your Game 5 Slayer between Optic Gaming and Space Station.
TriPPPeY gets the first kill. StelluR gonna be challenging everyone. And challenge he does successfully. It's 2v2 on the map. Well, where did that camo go? It looks like StelluR might have spotted out Lucid, who had it. Trades either side, but Lucid survives with that camo. You can see StelluR was desperate to try and shut him down. But Lucid, I say elusive a lot when I mention his name. There was another example for you.
How does he play this? Pznguin knows he's there. Look at this 1v1 here. Pznguin's looking for the camo player to walk by. Oh my gosh! Pznguin somehow in the end still gets the kill. He doesn't get the back whack, but he still converts and he shuts down the camo. What a play from Pznguin.
Screams from the crowd for Pznguin. No surprise with a play like that. Now you've got Formal with all the responsibility on his shoulders here for Optic Gaming. The power weapon is in his hands. Bound's gonna peek, and every peek is perfect. That doesn't connect for a Space Station. It means more ammo is gonna be used. It means that shock is less effective as Bound forces out another shot from Formal.
He's the peak master. As you said, burning that ammo each and every time. And it's just like the Argyle CTF.
He's playing a game of cat and mouse at the moment with Formal, and I don't think Formal's enjoying it, to be honest.
It's just like that Argyle CTF. We said both teams are going to show so much respect as here comes the push.
Yeah, now they've managed to escape. Formal didn't connect with those shots, and now the flood comes in from SSG. It's 7-3 at the start of this game, and Formal, he's close, but he's not close enough for a game 5.
Uncharacteristically missing a lot of those shots here. Eventually does pick up one with some nice crispy shots at the back of the head. 8-4 in favor of SSG. Bound refuses to go down.
He's allergic to shock rifle shots.
Just bouncing around. He's crazy.
Formal's like anyone else but Bound.
They should go now off that damage. No, Lucid gets forced out actually.
Looks like Bound had some grenades just to slow that push down, but you can see Optic trying to do what Space Station did a few moments ago. Space Station trapped around blue at the moment, and Lucid trying to make that play. Being trapped here has opened the door though, because the camo, control of the map, means they can get this power up. What's the play here from Lucid though?
You can tell how much is riding on this. Playing this very slowly. He knows it's already a 5-kill deficit. They
There's the
cannot
jump.
risk to waste this camo. No sticky grenades. Instead, he just pings the corner. He doesn't want to risk it.
He knew it was Pznguin as well. Bound gets one. And now the push has to come in. Bound will be taken down. Lucid does get 2, but there's the flank from Pznguin again. It's Pznguin 2, camo 0, as it's 12-6 here to Space Station. They negate the power up for the second time in this game.
13-6 now. The patience coming in from Optic Gaming, but the resilience from SSG to shut down that camo and get 4 dead. 13-7 now.
Now let's take ourselves back just a few tournaments where SSG in Dallas was saying we need to work on our Slayers. They went away and they worked on their Slayers. And now in a game 5, this is where it shows up most. It's 15-7 as Eco gets a double, 3 dead for Optic.
And with 3 dead, last player alive there on glass, make it 4 dead with a 10-kill lead. Let's get into a listen in with the home team. It's Space Station Gaming.
Dude, we're doing fucking
Yeah. I have ring gun.
Brayden, I got your tunnel, okay?
Keep grabbing the stickies. Keep grabbing the
Listen to me, listen to me. Brayden has shock rifle.
Bottom A.
Give him info, give him info. You can roam around, Brayden. Do whatever you want.
They're nading top cat.
Okay,
Watching long.
Watch out. Look up.
I don't think they're there,
Look up.
Brayden.
Look
Top
up.
cat, one shot, dead.
Sorry, nice. Yo, bottom BR.
Bottom BR, kill me. Bottom BR on the tarp, one shot. On the tarp, one shot. APG, dead.
Watch out. Nice.
3 dead, 3 dead.
He's probably bottom triple. Finish
Keep
it.
getting new
Came on 5.
Give me C jump, Brayden. Give me C
Ammo
jump.
in 3 seconds.
I
I spawned A.
C jump. Watch out. C jump. Watch out. Absolute dead.
Nice.
Long hold,
Brayden.
Brayden might chase me,
You're good.
I died from bottom
He's blue tunnel on me. Washy.
Wash it.
Okay.
One shot mid-bridge, dead.
Oh my god. Nice.
I'm just living.
Yo, trigger Ballage.
Yo, bottom mid, A pin.
Yeah, he's weak.
Anywhere.
Orange short, dead.
Yo, on bat, on shock. R2.
That's weak.
L2 weak.
Top right.
L2 is weak.
Top red weak, guys.
Top
On
right.
Commando. Nice.
This is Lucid.
Hit that. Yo, turbo on.
Keep her alone.
It's gonna be my top
At ledge weak. We stop shock. I'm on you, Brayden. I'm here.
We can hold shock the rest of the
Automate one
game.
guy.
We don't even need to put on
Automate one
spawn.
guy. Yeah.
Facts. Is there
Wait, don't waste the last bullet then. Don't waste the
I
last
have 12 bullets.
He's got
Okay. Just don't waste the
I'm
last.
sitting top glass.
One's ballad.
Yo, listen, we're not watching bottom.
Be quiet,
Yo,
be
top glass.
I have bottom,
Top glass weak. Top glass, watch out.
Saw you, Adam. Saw
Can't see
you.
it bound. Can't see it bound.
Watch out, top glass.
Take your time.
You're just sitting there, one shot. Can you nade it?
Yeah, I'm nading it. Red stairs.
I think they're going A. I think they're going A.
They're going to be long. They're going to be long. Nice.
How many?
Go away. Nice.
We're good.
Long haul, Trippy.
I'm watching Super. I'm watching Super.
APG and Trippy. I'm looking for tunnel.
I spawn pipes.
BR1.
I spawn pipes.
BR1 on me, BR1 on me.
You went watch you.
Watch out.
Dead.
Long hole, AP. Too long hole, Brayden. My
Shock
push.
is on respawn, though. Shock is on respawn.
Watch out, long haul dead.
I'm pushing
I'm
this
here,
last guy. He's on the box.
Both long. One last, both long. Nice, another one.
APG weak.
He's long haul, one shot.
You got him.
SSG sounding good. The scoreline looks even better for them. Optic do not have an answer at the moment. And Eco is 8-0 in a game 5.
You cannot let it happen. He is yet to be killed, and shutting down Optic Gaming, and the SSG chant erupts in the room for good reason. They have more than double the score of their opponents.
Maybe the first death hit.
my-
No!
oh,
No! Can you believe it, Eco? He's 9-0!
No way. What a stick repulse onto APG top tower. This man is doing it, and he is doing it with style.
Eco one off of a killing frenzy. He's one off of a killing frenzy.
He wants it!
Killing frenzy for Eco! It's 36-20 as Pznguin has a little bit of fun as well.
And you gotta love it. That was purely for the frenzy. He knew he was gonna die. He threw himself into Whirlpool just to get a frenzy on the main stage. They're up 37-21. Very rarely do you see that in a game 5.
Well, Lucid has an opportunity here to maybe drag Optic back into the game, but it's going to have to be the run of all runs from him. He needs to hit every shot. It's as simple as that. And he cannot afford to go down while he's doing it. SSG not showing once more, though. SSG refusing to give him that chance.
Oh.
There's one, though. There's the grapple. There's 2. There's 3. And he almost gets 4 as well. It's 4 dead for SSG. The camo shock was good enough for Optic to have a glimmer of hope in this game 5.
And you have to think that's exactly what Optic was looking for earlier in the game when it was only a 5-kill difference. Still now a 12-kill difference. Sure, we've seen Optic Gaming do some crazy things, but do they have this up their sleeve as well?
Listen to this room. This is what it's all about, everybody. This is what we live for in Halo. Matches like this, series like this, as Optic are down by just 8 now.
Ping's coming down for elevator spawns. Formal already flooding A. And it's still 2 full rounds of slays required to tie the game, but don't count Optic Gaming out just yet. And game 5 is back in action. Make it 7.
Bound gets 1 though. Bound gets 2. But Spacestation lose kills along the way as well. A couple of deaths fall against them. TriPPPeY's trying to hunt down Eco. And Eco, who had the most phenomenal, the most perfect start to a game that you could ever ask for, going 10-0 before finally getting taken down, keeps contributing here towards the success of SSG. But the camo was Optic's last time. Well, SSG, they've got it now, and Bound, the man we watched the documentary on, might be the man to add another chapter to his story.
And you have to think it might have been too little too late for Optic Gaming. You can't let it become a 17-kill lead like we saw for Spacestation. And sure, Optic's brought this back down to 44-36, but Bound and camo in his hands.
Bound looking for info. There's plenty of it. Lucid got no idea that Bound is there. He gets that first kill, and here comes the push from SSG. This could be the one that finishes it right here, right now.
Bound doing so well to just dodge this battery pillar. Oh my, gets the help as well, 2 dead. 47-38, 3 kills to go for SSG to perform the reverse sweep.
The chance of reverse sweep start here in SLC. SSG fans want this bad. Bound backs down from this fight, knows a death here. Could just give Optic a chance.
And they're playing this so smart. They know they only need to push if they have the advantage. Otherwise, it's such an enormous lead that there's no reason to even apply pressure.
They've got that shock rifle as well. And he says, hey, let's go over to the POV. Show me StelluR. Show me StelluR right now.
The crowd likes it. They already saw what StelluR could do. Does not trade, though. Eventually, those kills will be traded. 48 on the board. 2 to go for SSG.
Pznguin gets 1. Pznguin gets 1. Eco gets another. And in front of the hometown crowd. SSG say my broom is bigger. And reverse sweep Gaming.
Handshakes exchanged across the stage, but you saw it on your screen. Val had some very choice mannerisms there. Hands to the throat after that series ended. And the hometown crowd in Salt Lake City, they love to see it. It's a reverse sweep.
One of my favorite series I think I've ever casted. It was an absolute pleasure to see it. For Optic Gaming though, it's heartbreak. 2-0 up on SSG, so close to closing out the series. But down to the elimination bracket they go, and we just saw how dangerous that elimination bracket is looking. But for SSG, the story now, Andy, is the same as it's been this season. They are in the winner's bracket final, but can they win the damn thing this time?
And let's keep in mind, they're playing a very different opponent for the first time this season in a winner's bracket final. It will be Sentinel that they will meet, not FaZe Clan. As we take a look at your final series layout here in Salt Lake City, your winner's semifinal opened up with 2 big wins from Optic Gaming. It is answered back by a clean reverse sweep from SSG to win your winner's semifinal and send Optic Gaming to the elimination bracket.
One of the most phenomenal series, like I say, I've ever been a part of myself. For the players on the stage, it must have been just as exhausting as well, Andy. SSG get it done, and I wonder how much the energy in the room kind of dragged them through that series as well, because you need something special in those moments, right? You need something to give you that lift, to get you through those tough moments, and I'm pretty sure the fans might have just done that for Spacestation Gaming. They will move on to the winner's bracket final. Sorry, my brain's all over the place at this point. And they have another chance of making that grand finals once again.
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable performance, unbelievable series, I'd say, for both sides. SSG will get the better of Optic in the end, and as you say, they'll advance on, and Optic will have to see what they can do in the elimination bracket.
Well, I mean, it was like I say, an absolute pleasure to be a part of that series, but I gotta be honest, I want to hear from the players. I want to hear from Pznguin. He's down on the main stage now with Blaze. Take it away.